Assalamualaikum. Hello, thank you for joining. We're live with Artiago. Hi, hello, welcome. Hi, hello, thank you for joining. Hello, thank you for connecting. We're live with Artiago. Hi, okay, Amna, I have your request. I'm going to hold on to it for a bit, and then we're going to wait for a few more people to join, and then we'll start off with the day session. Hi, guys, hello, thank you for joining. Hi, hello. We're live with Miss Aamna Ahmad today. She's a student at the School of Design, Art and Design, SADA by NUST. We will be connecting with her in just a bit. Hi guys, hello. Thank you for joining. Live with Artiago. Okay. Awesome. So, Assalamu alaikum guys. My name is Mujahid. I'm an architect and I also happen to be one of the directors at Artiago, Pakistan. Artiago is basically a platform that aims to bridge the gap between artists, architects, designers from all over the country. Artiago has held a number of open houses, residential exhibitions, regular exhibitions, all aimed at bringing the art community closer together. We're connecting with Miss Aamna Nadeem today. Aamna is a thesis year student at the School of Design, Art, Design and Architecture, SADA by NUST. Assalamu alaikum Abdullah, thank you for connecting. Looking forward to your session tomorrow. Okay. We're connecting with Aamna. And we're live. Assalamu alaikum Aamna. क्या हाल चाल है? कैसे हैं आप?
I'm good. How are you?
Zabardast, Zabardast. I'm so sorry about the delay.
Oh, no problem.
Zabardast. So how's the lockdown treating you?
It has its ups and downs, I guess. It's some good downtime, you spend some time on yourself, you pick on a few more hobbies, but eventually it gets a bit depressing and you're just sick of being at home.
True. तो आपने क्या किया ये 4 महीने अपने लॉकडाउन में?
Well, initially, we were still working on our thesis. We had a few juries, Ramzan ke beech mein, and then a few others. But then uska bhi thoda sa delay aa gaya. We've kind of paused the semester for now because my final jury appended there. So then after that, it was just a lot of Netflix binging or cooking or baking. Just started doing a bit of that, started embroidering because there's nothing else left to do.
That is so cool. You clearly have a lot of time on your hands.
I mean, don't we all at this point?
Yeah, I wish I could agree with that. अच्छा जी, so you're done with your thesis?
Not really. We just have our final jury to go, but because PCATP wants that we have face-to-face juries instead of online ones, so that uski wajah se bas ab yahi hai ki, until the situation settles down and universities reopen. I just saw some comments by our friends.
Yeah.
Hi, Savera and Sonia. But yeah, so basically until universities open, we can't actually have our final jury. So even though हमारा सारा काम खत्म हो गया है, we're done with the design part. So we're just basically waiting for our final jury.
So technically you're done with your thesis.
Basically, yeah. But still not graduated.
That's completely all right. I mean, I know a lot of people who, well, let's not get into that. Or at this point. अच्छा जी, तो जैसे सादा के बारे में हम थोड़ी सी बात करते हैं. आपने माशाल्लाह you spent 5 years at SADA. How was your overall experience?
It's actually been really good. I mean, this is probably true for all design or architecture students who join an art school. पहले तो दुनिया बदल जाती है आपकी शुरू में. It's like a completely new perspective. First year, you're just like, ये क्या हो रहा है? Because it's, हमारे जो बाकी 14 years of education होते हैं, nothing compares to this. So just because of that alone, I think I've become a better person. I've changed as a person. So I owe a lot to my experience at SADA. Of course, not all of the experiences are that great, but mostly the overall takeaway is that it was good. It was good.
Acha. But okay, so our first question was a 2-part question. I missed out on the second part. What was the toughest part about being your 5 years at SADA?
To be very honest, initially it was just keeping track of what was going on. with all the assignments, and then honestly, like, because ek to ye bhi hai na ki, not all of your friends from before university understand exactly what you're going through.
True.
So, juggling with your social life in that way, that's also a bit of a challenge. But uske alawa, I feel like it was actually smooth sailing. Third year was
Really?
third and fourth year were a bit of the challenge, I guess. I feel like those are the 2 years जो कि सबके लिए सबसे ज़्यादा annoying होते हैं. Yeah, especially because fourth year में the scale of your project is completely like different, and then third year is like, you're halfway there but not really, so you're a bit done with that. So, but again, not something we couldn't handle, I guess.
अच्छा, जबरदस्त. अच्छा जी, तो जैसे सारे के बारे में कहते हैं कि getting into Sharda is a real challenge, 5 साल तो गुजर जाते हैं. तो is that, in your opinion, is that true? क्या इसी तरीके से
I
होता है?
can't say because I did not plan on coming to Sada.
Really?
So, well, actually, I was supposed to go to LUMS. I wasn't planning on becoming an architect to begin with.
Oh.
It was something I wanted to do when I was in 6th or 8th grade back in
अच्छा.
school. But somewhere down the line, I decided to go to LUMS. It was sometime around August, and my semester was supposed to start in September. I paid my hostel dues and gotten everything from my dorm in Lahore. But and I was at that point planning on doing a double major in math and econ. But because uske liye ek prerequisite hota hai to get into LUMS that you have to get a minimum grade in your A levels, 2 B's and C's. So as a backup, I did apply to NUST, especially in architecture. But wo maine literally aadha sote hue diya tha, so I don't know if it was actually that difficult. It was lengthy. It was 4 hours long, so it was lengthy. But yeah, anyway, I did get the grades that I needed to go to LUMS, but I guess I got into the architecture. You know what? What if? So it was just like an impulse decision, and I just ended up here.
अच्छा, तो मतलब you had absolutely no idea कि architecture किस तरीके से पढ़ाया जाता है, architecture की degree के.
I had zero idea. I mean, I was always interested in, crafting and, a little bit of drawing and painting. So like that aspect of it, I was good. But, I mean, my first day of architecture school, you're probably going to laugh at this. I went in with fresh new registers and highlighters and sticky notes. I still have them. I've never used them. So I had no idea what I was doing myself into.
तो रैगिंग वगैरह होती है? अच्छा, बिफोर वी मूव ऑन, टेस्ट में आपको जहाँ तक याद है क्या क्या आता है? ड्राइंग सेक्शन होता है, जनरल नॉलेज होता है?
So again, because this was like 5 years ago almost, to us point pe, we had about 4 sections. I think ek physics ka tha. There was a math part as well. There was an English part. And then we had the more creative aspect. Just kind of we had to sketch something. It was like a scenario building. We were given an object. We had to build a scenario around it and also sketch the same object. We had some collaging, some aptitude tests. Is tarah ka tha. But it was lengthy, but it was pretty straightforward.
And what was the interview like?
We didn't actually have. As far as I know, in the very initial years of when Sada started, I'm not sure, but as far as I know, there was an interview, but then they stopped doing that. Mostly to ye bhi hai ke, and also at this point, I think ab unhone even the design or the creative part of the test unhone wo bhi nikal diya, because I think NUST ka thoda unhone centralized test karna shuru kar diya, because it's like a polytechnic institute, so they kind of have the same testing for everybody now. I think is ऐसा उन्होंने कुछ शुरू किया, but I'm not sure about this entirely.
क्या आपके ख्याल में ऐसा होना चाहिए?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't want to piss anybody off, but I don't think so, because I mean, everybody at NUST also knows that SADA is a bit different than all the other schools there. And it's very different. You always hear that it's like a combination of art and science, but that's not the best way to describe it, I think. And uski wajah se, they just think physics or maths aapne kar liya test so you can become an architect, but that's not it. I feel like it would have been, it's a lot more important to understand the person, because I had no idea what I was getting into. So it's important to know, this person is suitable for the school, especially if it's a design related field. So I think at least, even if it's not an interview, at least design part hona chahiye test mein.
Design or drawing wala part. That's very important.
Yeah.
Actually, one of your friends just commented, tell them that story. Man, we love to hear that story.
Who is this? What story?
All my username, all my usernames
That's
are jokes.
Tania,
Strange.
what story?
Sure, go ahead. Pretend you don't know. Okay,
I
anyway,
mean,
moving on.
hmm.
अच्छा जी. So, what are the three major things that माशाल्लाह क्योंकि you've almost graduated from Sara. अब आपके
Yeah.
opinion में what are the three major things that students should have in their mind before signing up for architecture?
Well, there's a lot of things they should know, but the first three things I think, um, एक तो ये कि it's और ये एक चीज है जो हमें शुरू से फर्स्ट ईयर से सारे इंस्ट्रक्टर्स हमेशा बोलते हुए आए हैं एंड अब जाके हमें रियलाइज होता है कि इट्स एक्चुअली ट्रू व्हेन दे से दैट लाइक आर्किटेक्चर और डिजाइन एनी फील्ड इट्स not just a profession, it's actually a lifestyle. So, matlab shuru mein aapko realize nahi hota, but, sometime down the line, second year, when you go to a new building and you're lying down and touching the marble, you're like, okay, I'm going a little crazy. But it's just all you think about, it's all you breathe, and it's just a part of you eventually. And if you're not ready for that commitment to your profession or to that part of yourself, I don't think it's for you, because that also takes a lot of dedication. It's a lot of long hours. It's a lot of long hours, and it's not going to be a 9 to 2 p.m. or 9 to 5. It's not just that. Like, पहले तो काफी लोगों को ये शौक लगता है कि it's university and it's 9 to 5, because most of other schools have like a 9 to 1 p.m. kind of a schedule. पहले तो उनको होता है ना कि 9 to 5 है, and then they realize कि it doesn't stop there. उसके बाद भी पूरी रात काम करना पड़ता है, and it's really, really long, and it's a lot of hard work. And I think the third, it may not be the most important, but this is also something that not a lot of people know, because but I think it's still very important. It's that it's not a very cheap degree, in the sense that आपको सिर्फ fee नहीं देनी पड़ती. There's a lot of other expenses that come with it.
True.
A lot of people are privileged. I mean, personally, I've never had an issue, but a lot of people I know, they would have the issue of printing or making models. वो रोज के खर्चे होते हैं, and it just builds up to a lot. And then even after that, it doesn't pay as well as you would expect.
Of course.
Okay, we always have this idea that architects are one of the richest people ever. It's not like that.
Of course not.
I think that's very important to remember.
बिल्कुल. अच्छा जी, तो what were you, okay, so we're gonna skip on this question. मुझे ये बताएं कि how do you handle tight deadlines?
I've actually never had an issue with that. I mean, I feel like I was one of those very few people up until like third year, fourth year, जो कभी all-nighters भी नहीं मारे थे मैंने. I know I get a lot of hate for this, but I love sleeping, and I'm practically a baby, because 10 बजते हैं और मैं बस सो जाती हूँ. I can't do it. I'm being very serious. I mean, yeah, I never work on a Judy wali raat. मैं usually बस अगर for example the next day is a submission day, at this point I'm finishing up my work, wrapping it up, and then बस कल submit करके पूरा दिन chill करती हूँ.
Your batchmates must really hate you.
I mean, but then again, there are some projects that really take it out of you. Because like fourth year, maybe we had a high-rise project. That one really broke us, I think.
Achha.
क्योंकि एक तो वैसे भी that's a very different scale after third year. And then दूसरा ये कि fourth year वैसे खुद भी थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा party कर ली थी, तो but I guess it's just important to prioritize and understand how you work, because there are things you're good at, and how long you take to do the things that you're not good at. So for example, if you're good at and you're fast at drafting, and you get that out of the way, you just compartmentalize कि इतने दिन मैंने इस चीज को देने, and then इतने दिन I'm just going to dedicate myself entirely to just rendering or presentation. Because I know a lot of people who have difficulty shifting from the design phase to the presentation phase. So just knowing how long you take, in both the phases, that's very important.
Agreed. Ajay, so in your opinion, how important is it for an architect to actually practice architecture after his graduation?
I think that's very important. There are a lot of people who end up in the academia side of architecture, but I feel like it's difficult to teach architecture if you're not sticking with the times. And every day something is changing. And if you lose touch with what's happening out in the world, it's very difficult to teach as well. So I think both of them need to go hand in hand if that's what you're asking. But I feel like of course, it's important. Unless what you're asking is that, okay, if they digress from the field and go into other fields.
That's exactly what I was aiming at. Yes.
I feel like architecture is a very broad degree because you learn so much that can be applied to all other forms of design as well. So you don't just pick up on, how to design, or especially foundation year mein, you learn so much about colors, and you learn about, honestly, like छोटे electives bhi hote hain na, unse bhi you learn so much, and you can turn that into like a full-time thing. A lot of us have learned how to draw, how to paint in different mediums, how to make sculptures, photography, even, interior design or landscape design. There's so many things that you can do. You could completely go off into a different direction, but you still take what you've learned from architecture into it. And I think that's completely fine. Yeah.
Okay. Ajay, by the way, a lot of your friends have connected, so you might want to say hi once again. And guys, if you have any questions for Aamna, please feel free to type them down. If you want her to share any more embarrassing stories, do let me know. मुझे inbox कर दे. हम उनसे जरूर पूछेंगे. अच्छा जी, तो Aamna, what's your creative process like?
I talk a lot.
Design.
No, I like talking a lot about it. Of course, reading and then खुद isolation में काम करना और सोचना, research करना, that's separate. But sorry.
Okay, someone wants you to marry them, so that comment just popped up. I think that's one of your friends. Anyway, yeah, moving on.
I have really supportive friends. I love them all. They're great. But so yeah, of course, I read and I research on whatever I have to. But more importantly, I like talking to people. I think it's a different kind of realization of what you're thinking about when you in conversation reach to a point where you're like, okay, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm saying, this is what I'm going towards. So initially I always like to talk to my peers about what I'm thinking. It gives you more clarity in thought, and it you get different perspectives. So whether it's your seniors, your class fellows, or your teachers even, or even if it's somebody not in the field, especially people who are not in the field, I feel like talking to them is equally important, because at the end of the day, we're not designing for architects. So understanding their perspective on how you are, perceiving a concept that you're going to go with, I think that's very important. And then I like spending time on this side. That's a very fun aspect of it.
It is a side talk to you, because that's what a lot of architects are.
Honestly, it does sometimes. It really does.
It does? Okay.
I don't know if have you been to Islamabad?
Yeah. I've lived in Islamabad for 5 years, man. Come on.
Really? Oh, you're from NCA Pindi then? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Islamabad ka ye ki jo bhi site hogi, you go there, you spend some time. It's always a lovely day, unless it's July. It's fun.
And eventually the site starts talking to you.
Yeah, it does.
हो जाता है 5 साल के बाद ये भी हो जाता है. अच्छा आमना, मुझे थोड़ा सा ये बताएं कि हम वापस आते हैं सारा के ऊपर. हम थोड़ा सा टॉपिक से बहुत आगे चले गए. तो आप लोगों की जूरीज किस तरीके की होती हैं? हम जूरीज की क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस होती हैं आप लोगों से? जो आपके माइनर सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं वो क्या होते हैं? उसमें टीचर्स की क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती हैं स्टूडेंट से? उसके असाइनमेंट्स किस तरीके के होते हैं?
So that's a lot of questions. But jurors ka ye hai ki I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's the same expectation as everywhere else. They'd like to have a balance of a bit of functionality with good presentation and a nice concept. It's like a mix of everything good, but then I guess it comes down to who your juror is more than as a collective expectation from all jurors, because sometimes you get a juror who will completely disregard what your concept is or what your even site is, and then just talk about how many bathrooms you have or where your fire exit is. But then you have some who are just like, लेकिन ये कर क्यों रहे हो, you know, मतलब चाहते क्या हो? So it just depends on who your tutor is, and I feel like I've had a mix of both mostly. So, you know, वो दोनों होते हैं. And with the courses, we have a lot of interesting courses, especially with जो minors होते हैं. We've had some art electives. We learned oil painting, and we made plaster sculptures. It was fun. We've had urban design, landscape design, interior design, computational design. We have a lot of different courses, and then, you know, we also have courses for software. So you, from the first year, we don't use software in the first and second year, but we do learn them so that we're ready for third year. So we have, you know, classes for CAD and Photoshop, Illustrator, Rhino, all of that, and even Grasshopper, Revit, वो सारा.
अच्छा.
So, you know, yeah.
जबरदस्त. और आप लोगों का फाउंडेशन है किस तरीके का होता है?
So initially, because we have two departments, industrial design and architecture. So initially, होता है कि industrial design and architecture have the same foundation year. शुरू से यही होता आ रहा था. But when I joined after my first semester, which we had with the industrial designers as well, but then before the start of the second semester, decided कि industrial design का foundation year और architecture का अलग-अलग कर देंगे. So after that, it's been separate. तो उसके बाद जो changes आए हैं curriculum में, I'm not very aware of that, but it's not the same as it was when we started. So usme, it's very interesting because we have a lot of form finding exercises, color exercises. I mean, I'm sure you know the drill, but like, वो काफी interesting था because we had some great faculty at that point too. Ma'am Hermat and Sabahat and Mamuna. They have gone different places. Mamuna is still there, but yeah, I guess now it's a lot more different because उन्होंने separate कर दिया. So now the architecture department has something a bit more architecture oriented. So even their initial exercises are slightly more architecture focused. थोड़ा सा change हुआ.
सही जबरदस्त. अच्छा, आप लोग की societies वगैरह होती हैं? Like, do you guys have a drama society or music society, stuff like that?
We do. We actually have a lot of societies, but the thing is that's for all of NAS. So we don't have anything SADA exclusive. So you have, it's not a bad thing, to be very honest, because I guess that's how you get to interact with other departments as well. So you have engineers, you know, social sciences, all of them. So, you know, some of them are even in the fine arts society. You have the dramatic society, and a lot of people are coming together. You have the adventures club, music club. There's also a music club. Okay, at NAS. So we have a lot of them, but it's nothing exclusive. At one point, we did have on the down low kind of a group called Zoke Sukhan. It was started by two of SADA alumni now, Mutahir and Dure. So that was a drama club that started solely SADA, but you know that ended once they left too. So, but it's mostly just Nasr. Yeah.
तो अभी आप किसी society का part हैं?
Not really, no. I was a part of Zoki Sukhan, but उसके बाद से I wasn't, because to be very honest, I'm not very good with music, so or dramatics either. So yeah.
अच्छा, जबरदस्त. Okay, so hold on, wait. We have two more questions, and then we're going to be done with the first round. So our second last question for the first round is: tell us about your worst and best experience at SADA.
So the worst would have to be a jury I had. It was in third year, and it was, I wouldn't name the juror, but I'm sure if anybody from SADA is watching, they know who it was, because it was a scene to be watched. So we had this project to design a library. It was meant to be a 6-week project, but we got handed this other project from main office NAST. So we got a lot of live projects जो कि NAST को मिलते हैं, and then they give to SADA to work on. So we had a few interior design projects जिसमें हमने Parliament House के कुछ chambers का interior design करना था. So we had different chambers assigned to different groups. We did that. We had a USAID के office के project that, you know, we did an interior design. These were all live projects that we got because, you know, NAST को मिल जाते हैं, and then they gave it to us. So एक basically Parliament House की library का था interior करना था, and then उसकी वजह से, because it got handed to us and it was from the main office, we had to focus on that. Somebody just mentioned the jury in the comments, but anyway. Um, so instead of having a 6-week project for just the library, we had to dedicate 3 weeks to the library interior design for the National Assembly wala library. But then the rest of the 3 weeks, we had to like make a quick library project on site wala, जो वैसे हमें typically project होते हैं. So that was a very half-baked project, and I had this tutor, 2 tutors actually, and I was the first person presenting. So anything I said, the juror would cut me off mid-sentence and be like, "नहीं, लेकिन आप मुझे ये बताएं, नहीं आपने ये क्यों नहीं किया, आपने ये कहाँ पे?" like how it goes, right? So I got really frustrated. Typically, I'm very calm during juries, visibly calm, not calm, but visibly calm. Um, so I was getting really frustrated and worked up. So I said, you know what? Why don't you just ask me questions instead of me presenting? So I just stopped talking and I said, so why don't you ask me questions instead? So he did that. He just started pointing at things and asking me questions, and then it went, it got so dramatic. And the guys, he has a knack for theatrics. So उन्होंने लिखना एक मतलब लोग इकट्ठे हो गए थे इर्द-गिर्द जूनियर सारे because उन्होंने लिटरली तमाशा लगाया हुआ था बस वो तमाशा था लिटरली किसी की जूरी बस तमाशा उन्होंने ली. But then towards the end of the jury, he was like, you know what, good job, I enjoyed your jury because you took it like a champ. You did well. You didn't get offended, and but that was just draining. I was so dehydrated by the end of it.
Of course.
Yeah. So that was the worst. But the best, I guess, to be honest, everything else has been good. So I can't exactly pick out the best, but I just had like a series of experiences that have been great, like meeting amazing people, going to the gazebos in the rain or in the fall and having chai with my friends, or just, impromptu trips to the gate ke saath wala McDonald's and stuff, like small things, small pleasures, but yeah.
Fun memories. I understand completely. Okay, so we have a question. Actually, this is more of a statement. Big fan of Aamna here too. Okay, mashallah, a lot of your fans have signed in. See, no bad juries ever. Yeah, someone just mentioned that a while back as well. That you're being extremely humble and that you've never had a bad jury. मतलब यार 5 साल में एक तो बनती है. उसमें
Okay, so
आधी
that's
शीटें
not
लगाई हो.
नहीं मैंने कभी आधी शीटें नहीं लगाई. मतलब I always have my presentation ready. Like I said, मैं एक रात को पहले काम खत्म करके बस सो जाती हूँ. I'm that person. बेशक like I just stop myself at one point कि बस अब बस काम खत्म करना है. So I always have all of my deliverables. I've never presented with anything less than what was expected. Of course, मेरी modeling से और rendering से काफी हद तक जान जाती थी 3rd or 4th year में. So I barely ever did any of that. बहुत basic, बहुत ज़्यादा basic. Photoshop पे render कर दिया, थोड़ा बहुत. But still got me by. I don't know how, but some stroke of luck, I guess.
Happens. Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up. You're perfect. You're perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna skip on the rest of them. Actually, so yeah. Okay. So what do you think about Artiago?
Well, I think I saw a couple of your videos a long time ago, and that's the first time that I got introduced to this, of some open houses and stuff. So I think it's a great platform because I don't think I've ever heard about the experiences of students from other departments or other universities, and then also different fields, not just architecture. So it's very interesting because even fresh graduates, they have a different perspective. So getting to know all of that, it's very nice.
Awesome. Achaji, so it has come to my attention that you have an adorable cat and some cute ass puppies.
I do.
Are they around?
If you have like 2 seconds, I can go bring them.
Sure, yeah.
I'll be back.
We would love to meet them. Okay, guys, in the meanwhile, we have the rapid fire round coming up. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to type them down or rapid fire में जरूर लेंगे आप लोगों के सवाल.
All right. This is Rosie. She's my new pup.
Oh, wow, she is adorable. Hi,
She is
Rosie.
she's tiny. She's very fond of food and she loves
That's
everything I
right.
make, so she's my biggest fan,
I'm
I
sure she
think.
does.
Yeah, and my cat and her, she actually I just got her like a couple of weeks ago, so my cat and her don't get along too well, so my brother's gonna be holding her. But I
Uh-huh.
shall introduce you to her as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
please.
she's a feisty one though. She's super
Yeah.
feisty.
Ooh, she's adorable.
Yeah.
Acha ji, so we're gonna start off with the second round. Okay, so round two is the rapid fire round. You've got to say the first thing that comes to your mind. You have 3 seconds to answer a question. I mean, if you take longer than that, then we're gonna skip on that question. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. What is the most rebellious thing that you've done?
Hmm. Uh, th I feel like that's a state of mind that I constantly have rather than just one incident. But
Okay.
I did, but I did go to a different city without telling my parents.
Whoa.
Don't tell them.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, I did.
I'm sure.
I was actually in Lahore and I came to Islamabad to meet a friend and just stayed out all night. It's not that rebellious, but my parents didn't know I was here, so
Good. Acha ji, so what's the lowest grade that you've been given?
a C.
Really?
Okay, the cat. C, yeah. There she
Okay.
is. You wanna switch? Here you go. And this is Nini.
Hi.
Hi.
She
Say
seems kind of
hi.
pissed.
She was pissed. She saw the dog and she's just like, how dare you have her? Okay, take her and go. So yeah, we're struggling to get them to get along. So, but you know, they
Oh,
they can
damn.
they can stay in the same room, but not too
Mm-hmm.
close.
They're too close.
Yeah.
Acha ji, so the most annoying tutor that you've had.
It's in the comments. It's somebody already mentioned it. It was the same jury. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, by the way, some of these questions are from your friends. I mean, they're sending them in anonymously, so I can't really exactly name them for you. क्या
All right,
सवाल
that's
किसकी तरफ से आ रहा है? अच्छा जी, तो are you afraid of paranormal activities? Referring to Skardu trip.
fine. Yeah. Oh, okay,
Seriously?
so not necessarily. I mean, if it's ghost stories, yes, you know. I'm not necessarily afraid of paranormal activities because I haven't experienced it, but I am scared of the dark. So if it's a dark, you know, environment, and if it's Kurdu, you know, it's dark and it's remote, you know, of course you're gonna get spooked out.
Even Islamabad's dark. I mean, come on.
And then, of course, I have to mention my friends, my lovely, lovely class fellows. They went around scaring the crap out of everyone. We have Nina. She has hair like Rapunzel, and she just had them all over her face, and she just knocked on our door, and she just came in, and it was pitch dark, and I was just like,
Shit.
yeah.
Oh boy, that's fun.
The figure in your balcony? Oh, yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
that's, yeah, no. I've had some weird incidents happen in my house, so I think somebody was just Zirak was mentioning that, yeah.
Oh, acha. Okay, so we have another question. What? I'm sorry, I kind of missed out on it. Just give me a second. Oh yeah, I can't find it. Achaji, coming back to my questions. What would you do if you didn't have work from tomorrow?
I don't have work from tomorrow anyway. I'm
True.
going to graduate. So I just do what I'm doing right now. I mean, if it wasn't quarantine, I would probably be out in the hills or something, but you know,
Travel.
I'll just be doing what I'm doing right now.
अच्छा जी अभी अभी आपकी लॉटरी निकली आप सबसे पहली चीज क्या खरीदेंगे
I'd probably give half of it away. I wouldn't buy anything. I don't think this is something I need.
Really?
I would probably invest in something, so.
Smart. Wouldn't you want to travel? I mean, you
Oh,
love traveling,
hell
don't
yeah.
you?
But then I'm, you know, answering under the assumption that I still can't travel right now. But I mean, honestly, like if I got money, I would literally stop working and travel the world. Like that would be, yeah, for sure.
The ideal scenario. Acha ji, worst year out of all 5 years in school, and why?
Sorry, what?
So we have another anonymous question, and the question
Yeah.
is, what was your worst year out of all 5 years in architecture school, and why?
Third year, I think. Third year was a bit of a roller coaster, I guess. Like work-wise, friends-wise, just everything. It was like, it was weird, I guess. Yeah,
Happens.
happens. Yeah,
Acha
third
ji,
year to सबको लगता है.
ऐसे है. Favorite food?
Food. Okay, but I love pie and I love pizza, but I don't know. Just food. I'm a foodie through and through. I love all food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plans after graduation. By the way, all of these questions, they're from your friends, so I mean, they're not my questions.
Oh, cool. I would like to work. Yeah, my first priority would be to work. And then sometime down the line, once I have my license,
You
I would
would
like.
want to have your own firm.
No. I
Acha.
really think it's very important to work under somebody because, to be very honest, you don't learn everything in architecture school. You don't learn enough to go out into the world and do everything all by yourself. You know,
Of course.
there's so much out there. So I think it's very important कि किसी के साथ काम करना भी ज़रूरी होता है. So after one, and then I do want to maybe do a master's down the line, so that, and then maybe शायद कुछ सालों बाद अपनी firm देखेंगे.
Inshallah. Why not?
Inshallah, indeed, yes.
Acha ji, so again, coming back to my questions. Describe your ideal job. We've kind of covered. No, we haven't covered that. What is your ideal job? A place that pays you to travel. That'd be cool, yeah.
Def- That would be so cool. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if a lot of firms do that in Pakistan, I think.
Yeah,
Unless
Artiago
they're
does
processing.
that.
Really? Are you hiring?
That's a secret.
Expect my CV by the end of the night, I guess.
Ji. Sure.
But no, like probably something that where I could travel. If that's not possible, I would prefer something small. Because I feel like because मेरी internship से जो experience रहा है from small and to big firms, I always preferred having a smaller firm to work with. It's more hands-on. You get to interact with the clients more. You learn a lot more as well because your boss actually ends up becoming your mentor. So that's very important, especially for the initial years. I think that's very important.
सही. अजी मेरे पास यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि आपने माशाल्लाह कामिल खान मुमताज साहब के पास काम किया हुआ है. You've interned at Habib Fida Ali, and you've also worked with Fawad bhai at Shoail and Fawad Architects. तो तीनों जगह पे अगर आप हमें थोड़ा सा अपना एक्सपीरियंस बता सकें कि किस जगह पे आपने क्या सीखा.
Okay, so my first ever internship was with Kamil Khan Mumtaz, and that one was honestly the best experience ever. He is truly the best mentor you could have because he wasn't. It didn't feel like I was interning with him. It was more like he was teaching me. So he has this great library. He has a lot of books. He lets you talk to clients. I mean, these are just the top of the list perks, like if he asks you to work on something, he will make sure that you're the one even presenting that to the client. So he doesn't just treat you as somebody secondary who's just supposed to like CAD the bathrooms or whatever, but he gives you that due respect, and he takes you on all site visits. It was truly the best, and he taught me a lot because unka jo kaam hai, it's not the same as anybody else in Pakistan right now because he has his own work. He has a lot of knowledge to give as well. So us sabke a lot to offer. So he taught me a lot about traditional architecture in Pakistan, the history of architecture in Pakistan. He taught me a lot about the kind of details one can make utilizing the same understanding of traditional architecture. Even simple as using the same traditional Islamic geometric patterns इनकी जो जालियां बनती हैं, using them and manipulating them to make sun shading devices, just as an added layer. pure design. So like छोटी चीजें, you know, he's a lot more pragmatic in his design. So वो सब कुछ सीखना काफी interesting था. And but
अच्छा,
then
what
again,
made
Habib,
you
sorry.
Habib Fidali के लिए what made you come all the way to Karachi और कराची आके फिर आपने Habib Fidali of all the firms in Karachi you signed up for Habib Fidali after he had passed away?
Yeah, actually, I applied to ASA and Open Door as well. I got an internship both of those places too, but I'd already said yes to be Fidali, so I didn't
अच्छा.
want to, you know, sound unprofessional and be like, no, I just want to go somewhere else. But mostly because I was a little bored and I just wanted to get out of Islamabad, so I was like, you know what, Lahore hoke aa
कराची
gayi hu, ab Karachi hoke aa gayi hu, beach dekh leti hu. I mean, I've been to Karachi a lot. You know, it was a
अच्छा.
great time. I stayed with a friend. We both interned there, so that was nice.
अच्छा.
What's experience? I didn't really learn a lot at the firm again because जो मैं कही थी ना कि एक छोटी firm और फिर एक बड़ी firm में जो difference आ जाता है. So
बिल्कुल.
the most I did at that firm was partly an interior का project, but it didn't get finished because मुझे design brief ही पूरा गलत दिया था उन्होंने. So, but and then you know making presentations and rendering and stuff. So nothing that I learned. I just did stuff for them. But Sohaila Fawad Abbasi, that was also a really good experience. Because Sir Fawad, he's a nice mentor in a way too, because he would, you know, he would give you responsibility more than you would expect him to. So he would take you on site visits. He would even take you to meetings with clients. And you know, like even he had a lot to teach and a lot to offer. So वो भी काफी interesting experience रहा था.
अच्छा. तो of all the three places आप कहाँ पे young इंटीरियर sorry आर्किटेक्चर के स्टूडेंट्स को रेफर करोगे कि उनको कहाँ कहाँ अप्लाई करना चाहिए?
For internships?
Of course. I
think from the three that I interned at, Kamil Sabs would be at the top of the list, and then Sir Sohail and Fawad as well. But apart from that, I've heard amazing things about Open Door in Karachi because my friend interned there, and it was a very hands-on experience. Again, you know, you learned a lot from there. So there are some firms that will end up teaching you, even if they're great firms. You know, they may not give you as much of an opportunity to learn something as an intern. So I guess you have to really pick where you're going. And uske liye, if you're interning, it's better to go somewhere smaller. Don't go for the big names. Go for somewhere that's smaller, and you know, matlab kam log ho, and then you can directly, you know, interact with the people in charge, so you can learn something from them.
बका. तो आपने हबीब फिदाली पे बैठ के पते नहीं खेले?
Honestly, हमने सिर्फ deliveries करा के खाना खाया है. They had a dog, so that was amazing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Actually, coming back to our questions, your friends have started this hashtag Aamna ki shaadi karao. What's the deal with that?
I have no idea.
I wish I knew that.
शादी करा लेना, लेकिन पहले graduate करा दो.
अच्छा जी, तो we have more anonymous questions.
Oh, cool.
Favorite person from your batch?
Ayla. She's my favorite studio partner. She's like a sister. I've lived with her. She's lived with me. She's from Karachi, so that kind of sucks now because she's not here. But you know, she's my favorite person ever. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What? क्या आप नाम क्या लिया था?
Ayla Najib.
Okay, Ayla, if you're watching, you're Amna's favorite person. She should be watching. I mean,
she'll be watching.
अच्छा जी, तो yeah. Now finally back to my questions. If you could invite 3 people to dinner, past, present, or future, किसको बुलाएंगे? किसको बुलाएंगे?
Oh, that is heavy. That is intense. Okay. Present, I would probably have my family come over. They're in Europe right now, so that kind of sucks. I'd probably This is tough. There's so many people that I want to talk to, especially the ones who are not here anymore. Like I mean, there's so many artists that I would love to talk to. There's so many people that I've always looked up to. There's Van Gogh. I would love to have a conversation with Louis Kahn, honestly. Like, I mean, who wouldn't? You know?
Of course, yes, agreed.
Yeah.
अच्छा जी, तो have you ever lied to get out of work?
Out of a what?
Out of work.
I don't think so.
Really?
I really don't.
Shit, yeah.
But yeah, because
What?
I don't think I worked with anybody that I don't want to work with. So I guess I haven't. I don't think. I don't recall. हो सकता है किया हो.
Last week क्या होगा? अच्छा जी,
Yeah, last week.
what is the strangest thing that you've eaten? कचौड़ा वगैरह खाया कभी? Crab.
Oh my God, this is embarrassing. But as a child, I was a child, okay, and I ate an entire bar of soap, and like an
You what?
entire. I I ate an entire bar of soap, and it was. I don't even know what kaun sa brand tha. It was, I don't know, but it looked like a brick of butter. Okay, it was yellow and it was
Uh-huh.
like a cute border. I literally, I don't know, but I was I was 5 or 4 or something, and I ate an entire bar of soap.
Did you
And
burp bubbles after that?
yeah, they had to get my stomach cleaned out. And honestly, like I thought the soap would clean it as it is, but
That must have been a fun experience.
yeah.
अच्छा जी, तो I'm sorry, just give me a second.
No problem.
Okay, so you only have 24 hours to live. What would your day look like?
I would go for a walk with my parents in the morning. I would probably make my own breakfast. I would probably go to the hills.
चलो,
Yeah,
what is
honestly,
with you and hills? Like,
आप इस्लामाबादी नहीं हो, ठीक है, सीधी सी बात है. मतलब पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी मैंने और आयला ने सिर्फ डिच करके यूनिवर्सिटी बस पहाड़ों में जाके बस गुजारा है टाइम अपना, because you know, still life. I would just probably stay in, have a nice time with my family, maybe rob someone for the heck of it, like
चलो जी.
shoplift, just for the heck of it, you know. Like,
Yeah, I mean, why not?
why not? And then probably like say sorry because I wouldn't feel okay. But you know, like I would probably just have the most low-key at home kind of a day and then just go to the hills. I think that would be it.
Zabardast, zabardast. Sounds like a fun day. Actually, okay. So you have access to a time machine and you can only use it once. आप कब और कहाँ जाओगे?
I don't want to go into the future because I feel like that would be too depressing, maybe.
Depressing.
I mean, given the current circumstances, I don't want to know what happens at this point. You know, it could go either way, and I'd rather not live knowing what happens.
Okay.
But I would maybe go back. Actually, to be very honest, I don't want to go back. I think I'm happy with where I am right now. But you know, if it's a time machine, but if it's like the TARDIS from Doctor Who and I can travel in space and time, I would probably go land on the moon and see the Earth. That would be cool.
चलो जी. Zabardast, zabardast. Okay. If you, sorry, just give me another second. These questions are just dropping in, so I need to process कि कौन से पूछने कौन से नहीं पूछने. बैच का सबसे बड़ा कमीना.
I
My friend just
actually
commented
don't.
that she wants the machine.
I don't think मेरे batch में सब कोई है, to be very honest. ऐसा होता नहीं है, लेकिन I really like my batch.
नहीं, क्यों नहीं होता, होना चाहिए. अच्छा जी. Teach me something in the next 5 minutes. 2 minutes. 5 minutes would be too long.
2 minutes. Okay, because I love food anyway. Okay, this is the easiest hack to, you know, making dessert at night when you really craving something. It just needs 3 ingredients. It's a quarter cup of Nutella, 1 egg, and I think 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, like maida. And you mix it up and microwave it for 1 minute, and you have cake. It's the best ever.
Wow. That's a life hack.
Yeah, it really is.
Actually, though, this is our final question for the evening, unless your friends have more questions. What is your most embarrassing life story
Most embarrassing
experience?
story. I don't think I embarrass very easily, so this is a bit hard. I embarrass myself on a daily basis, I think.
Okay.
I don't know, my friends might know something, so but I mean, uh yeah. I don't think I can remember anything. But like I said, I embarrass myself on a daily basis. I fall all the time. I be walking like I can't walk like a normal person. I fall all the time. I run into doors, I run into windows, I fall all the time.
Shit, X. Okay, that's kind of probably how my niece hurt herself today. Anyway, thank you so much, Amna, for joining us today. It was great talking to
No
you.
problem.
And
Same.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye bye.